What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Fantasy Funhouse. Did you survive Uppbeat? Because I did not. This is my worst fantasy result of all time, a top 95%. I panic picked Eternal Fire in the last moments that the draft was live. All of that news that came out about Heroic and Astralis and all the rest just sent me into a frenzy. I panicked, I changed. You should never change last minute. I just thought Eternal Fire could beat Heroic, a weakened Heroic, Aurora, the worst team in the group, Furia, for frick's sake. How does the Eternal Fire not make it out of that group? I don't know. Nothing worked out for me. This is where we are. In Thunderpick, I'm doing a little bit better. Currently top 11%. I've got FaZe and I've got Monty still left. If they both win their series, then maybe, just maybe I can get a top 10%er. Not looking good for FaZe as I record because they've just lost the opening map in that best of 3 versus Cloud9, but there's still time for them to bring that one back. But overall, this has pretty much screwed up my season. I was in the top 10%. I'm now number 14. I'm not going to be in the top 10 after this. Maniac is impossible to beat at this stage because he got a 25 pointer in Uppbeat and he's looking on for a pretty good result in Thunderpick as well. So winning the season's impossible. Getting a top 5 is going to be very hard as well, just with the big distance it's going to be between me and the top 5. So it's still my goal, but just finishing in the top 10 is what we're scrambling to do in these final events of the season. And up next, it's another little bit of a weird one. It's the CS Asia Championships 2023. This is a LAN in China, 500k on the line. 8 teams, 3 of them are local Chinese teams. We've got ENCE and Wings Up both using stand-ins. NIP with a roster change. I assume Alex will be there, not Maxter. We've got FaZe that are allegedly losing Twist. All the drama with Astralis apparently getting Gabby and Stown, but not for this event. So Mal's, Tyloo, and Lynn Vision are the only teams with stable rosters at this event. I think if we're looking at drafting, 2-2-1, I think makes the most sense just with the format. And you normally want to go 2 from Group A, 2 from Group B, picking the top team from each of those groups, because if you go straight into semis, you get around the padding, and obviously we want to get into the grand final. However, with Group A having ENCE and Astralis, it's actually really risky because these are best of 1 openers. There's a real chance that Lynn Vision or Tyloo wins this best of 1, potentially throwing the whole thing into disarray. So I actually would maybe suggest going more into a FaZe Mals 2-2-1, because if you get Mals and FaZe, they end up the top 2 in their group. They actually end up on opposite sides of the bracket. First and third in each group end up on the same side, with the second on the other side. So ideally, you either want 2 first place teams or first and second from the same group, if that makes sense. Group B, Mals and FaZe, feel a lot more comfortable about them getting the top 2 as well. Wings Up are playing with the team they qualified with, not the international roster they currently use, which has got Kriaz and Bloggers, which means they're playing with an old roster, old players, don't have any faith in them upsetting at all. I think NIP could upset FaZe. I'm a little bit worried about that best of 1. So Mals, I actually think, have the best chance of getting top of their group because of their advantage in that opening best of 1. I think it's a best of 3s, very different story. This is my predictions for the playoff bracket. I think Mals and FaZe are interchangeable here in terms of topping or coming second in their group. And I think regardless of the outcome there, it's the same result in the grand final, because I don't think either team struggles in that path through quarters and semis, whether it's ENCE, whether it's Lynn Vision, whether it's Astralis, whichever teams they face there, Mals and FaZe win those matches every day of the week. So I think it's pretty confident to say that these are the 2 teams you should expect to have in the grand final, and you should be basing your drafts off that information. First off, looking at the most picked players, no one's picking golds except for Nerds. I don't understand why. Brookie is 3k more, and FaZe are going to do better than ENCE. I just don't really understand why Nerds is more picked than Brokey. But anyway, regardless, let's take a look at these teams. I think overall, ENCE are just a bit too expensive. I think their prices haven't been adjusted since IM Sydney, where they got destroyed. They're playing with a stand-in. I just don't feel confident picking in there. Mals are very expensive, but I think they have earned it, right? I think it makes sense that their prices are what they are. It's a bit unfortunate that Shuei is so expensive, but he has good farm potential against Wings Up in the opener, so I don't hate it, to be honest. FaZe, Rain and Twist are fantastic prices. 207k each is great for these two. For what they showed at IEM Sydney, it makes sense. Australis, ugh. Device maybe. He's cheap, 219. But this team lost to 9 and Apex. Ugh. Tyloo, interesting. Personally, I've already said Lynn Vision I think are the better team to pick into. Just don't pick Advent. Jam Young's probably the player I would look at if I was looking at Tyloo. NIP could be worth considering. They're a bit of an upset team here, despite everything that's going on with their roster. I think they could make it to playoffs, but they won't win the event. Well, they will make it to playoffs. They'll beat Wings Up. So I think, you can guarantee on that and potentially an upset best of 1 victory. So Config at 186 is definitely an interesting pick. Lynn Vision, interesting. Some very cheap prices. Wings Up, we don't want to touch. As I mentioned with the bracket, if you want to go into that Mal's Phase 221 draft, you have to double IGL to do it. So you have to go like Shuei and you have to get Carrigan. So let's go with like the cheapest combo. That leaves 197, which gives you a few options if you want to go down this path, like Jam Young or something like that. Personally, if I was going to go into this double setup, I would probably go something like Carrigan Twists and then maybe Session, Torji, Advent if you wanted to not go the double IGL, but otherwise you kind of playing with a bunch of mid players. I don't know, nothing feels comfortable here. Like, I don't know, you could maybe swap one of these players out. Nothing feels great to me. So I don't really want to go down this Mal's phase getting the worst of each team. I'd prefer to go something a little bit more crazy. Mal's are winning their best of 1. They're going to top their group, potentially. Best chance to do it. So I'm going all in on them. All right? I think they're going to do it. I think Shuei is a good choice regardless, just because of the farm factor against Wings Up. And I'm going to be pairing up with Torji. No one's picking the golds here. I think the Infant's going to be the most popular pick. I don't want to pick him. I don't want to pick Exertion. I want Torji. Torji and Frozen, the best 2 players on this team currently. That's my combo. I'm then going to grab Broky. Now you might be thinking to yourself, you've spent a lot of money here. What are you possibly going to get with 360k left over? And well, that is where I present to you Westmelon and Amelia. We're talking double Lynn Vision. We're talking double Vision. This is the draft I'm going to run with. I'm banking on some upsets in those best of 1s. I'm banking on Lynn Vision delivering in that group. And I'm banking on Mal's winning the whole thing. I've got Broky there just to keep me safe. But this is the draft I'm going to go. It's a little bit risky, but I've got to take the risk now. So this is where I'm landed. I want to know what you're doing. I want to know what you're running as per usual. Let me know and good luck.